We will now proceed to elect a Speaker. This election is governed by Standing Order 9.1.1, which is reproduced as part of the order paper. The Standing Order provides that if only one member is proposed and seconded as Speaker, that member shall be called to the Chair without the question being put. But if there is more than one candidate, there must be a ballot of the members present. The candidate who receives the highest number of votes in the ballot shall be declared elected. I intend to proceed as follows. When a member has been nominated, I shall seek a seconder for that nomination before calling for any further nominations. Honourable members nominating and seconding a candidate may make a short speech in support of their nominee. I now call for nominations. Mr Ashford.
Thank you, Mr Acting Speaker. I rise to nominate the Honourable Member for Rushen, Mr Juan Watterson, MHK, for the role of Speaker. Juan is no stranger to this role, having held the position over the last 5 years, a role that, in my view, he has exercised very ably and brought his own personality to the role, making it his own. There are various qualities required to hold the post of Speaker, and it is by no means the simple role that many assume it to be. In fact, I would go as far as to say that it is a role that is perhaps much misunderstood outside this Honourable House and the wider Honourable Court. Much of the work of the Speaker goes on behind the scenes in the committees of both Tynwald and this Honourable House. But the Speaker also has an integral part to play in the success of those committees and ensuring that the proposals that come before honourable members are both workable and practical. The role of Speaker is a unique one in the fact that they are to chair this Honourable House and guide it through its business, but at the same time they are the servant of this Honourable House. The Speaker guides and ensures that we comply with our rules and procedures, but also has to be acutely aware of the sentiments and feelings of honourable members and must be able to successfully judge the mood of the House. Not as simple as it seems at times. The Speaker is also the defender of the rights and privileges of this ancient House and its members, ensuring not just that those rights and privileges are respected within the Chamber, but also those rights and privileges are not compromised outside of this House as well. The role of Speaker in a democratic parliament, rather ironically, was very ably summed up many centuries ago by House of Commons Speaker Lenthal, who, when Charles I encroached on that House's privilege and sought to arrest 5 members of the House of Commons, said, "I have neither eyes to see nor tongue to speak in this place, but as this House is pleased to direct me, whose servant I am here." So having said all that about the role of Speaker, why do I feel that Juan is best placed amongst us to guide us over the next 5 years? Well, firstly, he's a details man. He is one of those rare individuals that can spot something that others may have read or viewed dozens of times, but may have missed. He also, and I hope he won't mind me saying this, has a passion for both legislation and standing orders. Over the last 5 years, he has had to deal as Speaker with guiding the House through the passage of detailed and complex legislation, and he has always managed to do so with such a mastery that he makes it look easy. And I can assure honourable members it is not easy. But alongside his parliamentary abilities, his personality lends itself to the role as well. There will be moments when the House's passion rises, and the Speaker needs to intervene to keep debates on an even keel. He is one of those individuals who, while guiding the House back to where it needs to be, also manages to cool passions with his sense of humour. There have been many occasions where his intervention has lightened the mood just at the right moment, and his quick thinking and wit is an invaluable asset. I will always remember on one occasion in the last House where we got a bit of an impassioned question time, and just as a member was rising to ask a very, very serious supplementary question to a minister, as the minister rose, their iPads started blaring out, "She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah." As quick as a flash, Juan managed to reply, "She may love you, but I certainly don't," which immediately lightened the mood. Again, I hope you won't mind me saying this, Mr Acting Speaker, but he is a House of Keys man. He has a real passion for this Honourable House. Over the last 15 years, he has worked endlessly and tirelessly to promote this House to the wider public and large. And over the last 5 years as Speaker, he has opened this House up to school tours and engaged with organisations, groups and schools outside of this House to promote the work that goes on within this honourable place. He has done so with passion, and that passion is infectious. It's hard not to listen to him talking to groups about this House and not share that passion. He is also an excellent ambassador for our island and advocate for our Parliament. He passionately involves himself in the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association and never misses an opportunity to sell our beautiful island abroad, or indeed encourage others from other parliaments to come here and see our island for themselves. So in the Honourable Member for Rushen, Mr Acting President, we have a unique, Mr Acting Speaker even, I should say, we have a unique individual who can understand the needs of members, converse and engage with groups outside of this Honourable House, and also knows the procedures and processes of this House like the back of his hand. In conclusion, Mr Acting Speaker, I think the last House was very lucky to be able to call upon the expertise of someone so diligent in the role as Speaker, who masterfully was able to command the respect of this Honourable House and steer it through what at times was some complex debates and legislative stages. I firmly believe this House would be equally lucky to be able to call on that expertise again. So it gives me no hesitation, Mr Acting Speaker, to recommend to this House the name of Mr Juan Watterson MHK to serve as Speaker for this House for the forthcoming 5-year parliamentary term. I beg to move.
Thank you very much, Minister. Do I have a seconder for Mr Watterson?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr Acting Speaker. As one constituent said to me on Thursday outside the polling station, sometimes better the devil you know. And with that, I have a second.
Short. Second then, Mr Hooper. Call for any other nominations? Honourable Members, I announce that nominations are now closed. Honourable Members, only one member has been proposed and seconded. I therefore declare that Mr Watterson has been elected, and I would invite him to come and take the chair.
Hear, hear, hear.
Honourable Members, it's great to be back, and can I start by thanking my proposer and even my seconder and all members of this House who have placed your trust in me to act as Speaker of this ancient and honourable House as part of the world's oldest continuous parliamentary assembly. It's interesting to note the changes since the 2006 election when I first arrived here, but not only a far better gender balance, but also, I reckon, the youngest elected House we have ever had. The people of our island have voted for change, and it is our job to work together to realise that aim. And whilst I expect reform to be a constant theme of the work of this House, I take very seriously the Speaker's duty as guardian of this institution's traditions. I've always been keen to ensure that members have robust policy debates in this place, but always believe that we should be attacking the policy, not the individual, and I hope that that spirit will continue. I look forward to getting to know all members better, and I pledge myself to offer any assistance I can to any member. I am both your spokesperson and your servant, and to that end, I promise to remain as impartial as I possibly can be, at least in this chamber. Thank you, honourable members. I am truly honoured.